An act of God in the world is a stage. God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw the light and said that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. Lucifer and his angels were cast out of heaven, and Lucifer was given the name Satan, which means adversary. However, Lucifer had interjected controversy over how the order of things should be. God, willing to dispel all doubts, proposed to allow evil to prosper for a time, and to bring forth its fruit to expose itself, but not in heaven in the presence of his holiness. Therefore God prepared a place for Satan and his angels, where they could practice their evil works, and he condemned them to it. And so it is that those who by God are appointed to destruction are separated, and often, for a time, allowed to practice until their judgment becomes ripe. Indeed, for in the wisdom of God, a temporal theater was created to pit good against evil and make manifest his righteousness. Thus, the world became a stage, and just as most productions have heroes and villains with different parts involving many different characters being played by various actors, so is our world. And whereas in a production there is inequality, for in every act there are leading roles, supporting roles, and lesser characters, so also our world contains every character type necessary for fulfillment of all roles. It would be absurd to demand that every character in every production must be equal in all ways and all things. That would hardly work in a play, and how much less so in real life. There is, however, a huge difference between God's theater and the fake productions of entertainment. Indeed, in reality the whole world is a stage, and life is a dressing room for where we will spend eternity. Everyone born is given a role, some small, some great, and every role fulfills a purpose. Unlike pretenders who are given their parts to rehearse and their lines to memorize, God has endowed us with free will. He has written the plot of the story, but each of us are given choices as to decide who we will be, how we will play our part, and whose side we will be on. We hardly memorize all of our lines, and we each create our own character as we go. This brings us back to the beginning. Are you rich or poor, male or female, black, white, or another color? We could go on and on with different identities, as there are too many among us to cite. But the truth be told, ultimately none of it matters. Why? Because we each will be judged by one thing, and one thing only. That is, how much do you love God? Love works no ill to his neighbor. Therefore love is keeping God's commandments. For God is love. Seeing then we will not be judged by any worldly measurement of differences, but by our own love or lack thereof. Worldly differences are rendered irrelevant in regards to eternal judgment. For many renowned who are now first shall be last, and the last shall be first. Many in this present world who have been given leading roles on center stage, who chose to play a vile character speaking perverted lines, shall be cast down, while those whose lives may have seemed inconsequential, but who loved greatly, shall be exalted. Indeed, all are equal in that we have been given a heart and a soul, and we are all required to give back all of our heart and all of our soul to the Lord. Hold to fairness and righteous judgment, but the equality of this world means inequality. A focus on equality where all things are not equal merely breeds hatred, jealousies, divisions, and every other evil. Everyone's role is immensely important. More important still is how you perform your role. Don't envy the role of others or the place given to another. That was Lucifer's folly, who imagined in his heart to be like the Most High. We are not God's equal. He is above us, but we can be like him if we love him. As it is written, the disciple is not above his master, nor the servant above his Lord. It is enough for the disciple that he be as his master, and the servant as his Lord. Matthew 10:24 and 25. And again, but we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. 1 John 3:2.